שבט אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב. שבט אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבט אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב. שבט אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבט אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב. שבט אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבט אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב. שבט אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבט אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב. שבט אחים גם שבט אחים גם יחד.
Yeah. As long as I don't go under, that's what my kids do. Do you remember that time we made a video taking there? That was so fun.
La Welcome. My name is Jennifer Marcoux, and I am on the board of Temple B'nai Torah, and I have the honor to welcome all of you and our distinguished guests for a wonderful installation of our two rabbis. Rabbi Molly becoming our senior leader, and Rabbi Dusty. We are so excited you came to celebrate, and I think we have lots of visiting distinguished guests and rabbis here. So if you don't know me, please feel free to say hello at the Oneg, or if you have any questions about the temple, please don't hesitate to stop by and see me or any of the other board members or temple staff. So thank you for coming, and let's enjoy the wonderful celebration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Shalom. Thank you for being here for this very normal Shabbat.
So normal.
This is Eran, our amazing music director, Rabbi C.B. Souther, who you may have, if you were here for Rosh Hashanah, may have been here when they helped lead one of our services. I guess Milo's playing some drums.
Much assistance tonight.
Yeah.
Much assistance.
Yes. So this is such a special evening for us, and it feels like we've had a series of celebrations and positive milestones, which is wonderful. So, and it's always a little bit weird to do an installation when you've been at a place for 5 years or 6 months. But it is a really special opportunity for us to be here together to mark this moment with you as we, like when we look out and see all of you wonderful people, we see people who we have known for our whole lives. We see people that we have just gotten to know. We see people that we have spent time in rabbinical school with. We have many special friends and guests here, so it's really special for us. What would you like to add to that?
I thought maybe I would dance.
You can dance.
It seemed like an answer.
Yeah.
I have nothing to add. That was well said.
You are a person who likes social media, though, right?
I do sometimes. Was that the hint that it was time to invite Andy to join us on the Bima to take a photo of everybody?
Yeah.
Aha! Andy's gonna come take a selfie with everybody so we can note this
So Rabbi
momentous
Dusty can mark
occasion.
it, put it on social media.
So I'm actually thinking as many of you as possible, which would be all 4 of you unplug the guitar, maybe stand.
Okay, we're going down. We're going down. We're coming down. We are coming to you before we get started. Woo! Stay right where you are.
Yeah.
Stay comfortable. It's fine. Oh, and he's okay.
There
Oh,
we
I
go.
see
Yeah.
what's happening. Okay. All right. All right. Everyone smile. Oh God.
What I really want to do is stand.
And
up.
don't do that. It will break.
But-
No,
You got it?
no. We want
Maybe
to stay
one or
alive.
two more.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. All
One,
right.
maybe the guitar. There
Okay.
you go. The neck was in people's faces. Thank you all for your patience. as we are celebrating a
My
very
knees will only last
moment.
for
And I got to do one more.
Okay,
thing.
Turns out we're not as used to be.
I don't know what's happening
Okay.
here. Oh, panorama, panorama.
Oh, so we get the whole world.
Yay! We should have been on one side and then the other.
I know that.
Oh,
yeah. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Yep. All right, we can all go home. We have a picture. That means it happened.
Yeah.
We're done here.
That's how you know it happened.
Shabbat
Yes.
shalom.
So
Just
we
kidding.
are delighted that we have 4 rabbis. Well, there are more than 4 rabbis in this room. Spoiler alert! But 4 rabbis who have been part of our journeys and are here with us today, and they'll be offering our blessing a little bit later. Hopefully you saw in the newsletter, sadly, Rabbi Devorah Weisberg, who was meant to be our scholar in residence, is ill, and so she was not able to be here tonight. She will appear on this TV later.
Larger
We'll
than
hear
life,
some words.
as it turns
Larger
out.
than life. So this evening, we are excited to share some of what we usually do together, and then hopefully you will all come back tomorrow morning to pray and be with us again, where you'll have the treat to be led by our 4 friend rabbis, rab friends, we called them. Right?
Rab friends.
Nope, 3 of them. 3 will be here. Okay.
Whew. Shall we?
What are we doing?
Shall we light some candles? Oh, shalom aleichem.
Lovely.
Sounds great. I love
Orphanage
welcome
Room,
some
page
angels.
24. Indeed. On page 2, we have our candle blessing. We mentioned that there are many rabbis in this room. I think there's only one, though, that taught both of us. Is that true?
Yes.
I think so. There's only one rabbi here who also...
In the traditional sense of us being students.
Yes.
And her being.
And today is her birthday.
It's true.
And so we're going to invite up Rabbi Arlene Schuster and as many of your family members who want to come up with you. You don't all have to come up, but anyone who wants to come up to help us with lighting the candles. Yep, absolutely. I'm going to have maybe Carol, if
Maybe
you're
a
willing to be our
representative
rep.
for Arlene
Yep.
can do the candle lighting part. How's that sound?
I know there's another important birthday coming up. Don't worry, everybody. Thank you. You can have a seat. And when I was working here before going to rabbinical school and was oftentimes here on Friday night, there was one consistent thing every Friday, which is that the bookies would be here. And when it got time to where whoever was leading would say, does anyone have a simcha? Come on up. They always have a simcha. Maybe because you have so many amazing children and grandchildren, and now 3 great-grandchildren, including a new great-grandchild. And today is Frankie's birthday also, right?
Oh my goodness.
So we're going to invite you two to come on up if you're willing and able to come just right down here to
You want
hold
to
our
stand where you
Kiddush
are
cup.
and I can bring a Kiddush cup to
Also,
you.
that works.
Is an alternative. How's that?
And we're going to find out what other simchas we have, but we always love hearing your simcha.
Will you stand in place and lead us in Kiddush? Help lead us in Kiddush? Are we simchaing first or Kiddishing
Simcha.
first?
Simcha.
Simcha. Do you have a simcha to share with us?
My birthday.
Tomorrow.
Sorry.
All right, a birthday tomorrow.
Birthday, it's fine.
Any other simchas to share?
Great grandson,
Yes. Almost birthday twins. Amazing. Carol?
Our daughter Emily just got engaged.
Yay!
Mazel tov. Other simchas?
I mean, sure.
Hey!
That's a gimme.
I've heard of those rabbis. All right.
No other simcha.
Shall we make Kiddush? Let's do it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom tehillah lemikra kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim ki vanu v'harta v'yotanu ki dashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
B'vakasha, please. One of my favorite things about the bookies is they always like to do fun math about how old they are or what anniversary, and they like add their birthdays together or like add other people's. So you can ask them at the Oneg collectively which birthday they're celebrating. We're going to turn to page 13 and join together in some of the words of the Psalm Shul Adonai as we move into our Kabbalat Shabbat service. Great.
turn now to page 20. Take a moment to, we've said hello and goodbye to angels already. And we have officially started, I just went to move my glasses up on my head. They're not there tonight. All the better to see the Shabbat bride with. So the angels have come and gone. They know we're here. They've checked that box. And now it is time for us to continue bringing in Shabbat by welcoming in the Sabbath bride. We'll continue on page 20 with Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nehavela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nehavela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Yishayanu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, L'shemo tiferet ve'litila. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'necha, ki b'kor ha'bracha, merosh mikem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'Shabbat v'tchila. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Hitoreri, ki ha'orech hu bi'ori, uri, shir daveri, kevod Adonai alayich nika. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Boi v'shalom atzeret ba'olam, gam b'simcha ובטהרה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela.
We are going to remain standing and turn to page 28 for the Baruch Hu.
La ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. לעולם ועד.
May be seated.
One of my many Temple B'nai Torah memories is one that actually didn't take place in this building or even the little temple in the woods. It took place in a little church on Capitol Hill. Once a month for just a couple of years, there was a little satellite service that took place, and because we were Seattle people, we went to that service, and Chava helped lead that service, and she introduced us to a particular melody, to a particular prayer that I'd never heard sung before, and I've only ever heard sung with this melody, and this is the only one that I know. And every time I think about
Others. Are there? I mean, one.
do we
There's one.
do we like it?
Yeah, it's fine. It's me. It's not.
We like this one better.
Yeah.
Anyhow, there are some melodies that I think transport you to places, and this melody, this tune for Mari Varafim, that helps us all transport ourselves into the evening and helps thank God for bringing on the evening, always transports me to sitting in a circle in a church, which with other Temple B'nai Torah members praying with Chava Morel. So here we are, page 30.
turn now to page 32 as we move into Ahavat Olam, then Shema Ve'ahavta. We often talk about these three prayers as all being part of one unit that helps us look at the world and our place in the world and think about both how we receive love and how we process it and turn that back around and what kind of ways we show love in the world. So we'll start with Ahavat Olam on page 32, which is our prayer giving thanks for the ways that God shows God's love for us.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Ahavta, Ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shofenu, U'kemeinu nasiach b'chukecha, V'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha, U'b'mitzvotecha v'yomaveh, Ki hem chayenu, Be'orech yameinu, U'bahem negei yomam v'layla, negei yomam v'layla. Be'ahavata al tasir, Mimenu le'olamim, Baruch ata Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael. Ohev amo Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Shem kevod malchuto, le'olam va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'otecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibartam bam b'shivtecha b'peitecha u'b'flechtecha v'derech uvshochecha, uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot beineinecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha, leman tizkeru, va'asitem et kol mitzvotai,
Vitem kiddushim leloechem.
Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Adonai Elohechem emet. On page 40, we have our prayer, Michamocha, which is the song of freedom and redemption that we sing. We make our way from slavery into freedom. And we were, Rabbi Bess and I were debating, there's just so many stories to tell about Michamocha. How do you even choose which one? I'm going to go with one that we didn't even talk about. Great. So one of my favorite stories about Michamocha, which I'm sure you have heard because I tell it often enough, but it is a story that I learned from Rabbi Ed Feinstein about how when the water opened up, that whenever you see a picture of the parting of the Red Sea, you see water on two sides. And there's a midrash that says, actually, it wasn't that the water split in half and opened up on two sides, but what happened was that there were many, many different paths that the water sort of shot up in different, and there were different paths, and that the people had to decide which path to go through. And the way that they decided how to proceed into freedom was that they all chose different paths and walked through simultaneously. And as Rabbi Ed Feinstein tells it, there are magical windows as you're walking through that you could see the other paths. Maybe true, maybe not, I don't know. But the idea is that there's not one way to do things, which is always something that we love about Jewish tradition. You may or may not know this. In the last 6 months, our staff here at Temple B'nai Torah has gone from 4 people to 12 people. We have tripled. And some people ask, like, is that really hard? Is that overwhelming? And the answer is always, absolutely not. It is my favorite part about what has been happening here lately, is that I get to be surrounded by so many people who do not have the same opinion as me. We know. It's true. And neither do you. And that's what makes us better, is that we all have our own sort of pathways, but we're doing it together, and that is what has made the last few months, and certainly where we're going together as a team, so special for me and hopefully for everyone else. And so as we join together in Michamocha on page 40, we could think about big freedom in whatever way that works for you. And you could also maybe think about, perhaps, are you on a path and maybe there's someone else that is on a different path, and perhaps that has felt like a point of tension, maybe not, but if there's an opportunity to sort of like look through that magical window and see that you're both heading towards the same place together. And that's the goal of what we're doing here. So we're going to sing together, Michamocha, page 40.
Freedom, freedom, freedom.
continue on page 42 with our ancient bedtime lullaby. Some of us are closer to bedtime than others. Some of us
Some
should be closer to bedtime than others. My child may, in fact, be going to sleep right now somewhere in this building. So if you sing loud enough, this lullaby may be her bedtime song. Join together in the words of Hashkivenu. I'll have to tell the story. Been made aware that my child is not yet asleep. True, sorry. But we can't tell you where she is. Or one time we discovered after services that everyone had departed the service. In the middle of the service, we did not know where all the children had went. And I learned afterwards that they had all gone to play with Charlie in the hall. So no one now gets to know where Charlie is, on the off chance that you all leave to go hang out with her in the middle of services. I'll continue on page 44. I'm going to say one word.
Yeah.
And then I'll say less words.
You can have more words.
7?
Yeah.
7 words?
Go for it.
I was
Okay.
going to ask you to say some words.
Oh, thanks. Oh, yeah, about this piece in particular. Okay, 2 things then. One about this piece and 2, the other thing. The other thing first. Vishamru are words from the Torah. They are the words that teach us to make Shabbat, to keep Shabbat. They are the words that teach us that Shabbat only happens if we make and keep Shabbat. And we talk a lot about one of the common teachings there, right, is that Shabbat helps keep us together and we help keep Shabbat together, and it's this symbiotic relationship. And it just occurred to me as I was looking at this particular collection of people that one of the most beautiful things about coming home is the wild array of people in my life who are here tonight. And I'll say that specifically for me because you've been here for a while. So all the people who are here are people that you get to see and have gotten to see, I think, for the most part. Yes? Yes. Whereas I have people here tonight, it's wild. It's wild, the people who are here. I won't embarrass them by pointing them all out, but I'm really glad they're all here. And the other thing, which is what Iran was going to ask me to share, is that this particular setting was composed by the cantor that I worked with for my first year in Charlotte, North Carolina at Temple Bethel. And one of the things that we do is bring with us the pieces that have helped make us into who we are as we move along our path. And this is a piece that I loved a lot and thought would feel good here too. And so now it is. And we have meshed different communities, just as this group of people is in and of itself both one community and a meshing of a number of different communities. And that's what Shabbat does, is it puts us all in one place to be something that we could not be if we were all in our individual places tonight. So thank you all for being in this place tonight. Let's pray. Page 44. Continue with the Amidah, begin on page 46. We'll continue together through page 52, after which we'll keep going. But we'll take you at least through 52.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Hasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevii Geulah Livnei V'nei Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshia Umagen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach umorid hagashem. Mechakel chayim vechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umkayem emunato lishenei afar. Michamocha ba'gevurot umito melech. Melech meimit umchayeh umatmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
May be seated. Continue on page 60 with a prayer for peace. Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, b'chol עת ובכל שעה, בשלומך. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam.
Take the next few minutes for the prayers of our own heart. You're welcome to skim through the prayer book if that's meaningful for you. You're welcome to close the prayer book entirely. You're welcome to close your eyes, offer whatever is going to be meaningful for you in this moment.
ושפתיי מדבר מימה, אבל אם קל עליי נפשי תדום, ונפשי כפה לכל תהיה אלוהי, אלוהי, אלוהי נצור לשוני מרע, ושפתיי מדבר מימה, אבל אם קל עליי נפשי תדום, ונפשי כפה לכל תהיה
Now my honor to invite up Rabbi Devorah Weisberg to share some words of Torah. As I'm setting the... Why we both know her? What's so wonderful about her?
Who the right person would be to speak to, about, and who knew well both of us. The first person who pretty quickly came to mind, in fact, was Rabbi Devorah Weisberg, who is the director of the rabbinic program when we were in school on the Los Angeles campus. And currently, I believe she is the director of the rabbinic program writ large for all of HUC JIR. And I think that is not the reason that we wanted to have her install us. The reason we wanted to have her install us is that she's a really, really wonderful human being, and she is a really wonderful teacher, and she was a teacher for both of us. And I think she's a really wonderful model of how to be a rabbi in a world where there are lots of ways to be a rabbi, but there's some that are kind of lifted up really highly. And she offered, I think, a different understanding of what being a really successful rabbi looks like to both of us in our learning process. She's a Talmud teacher, and she's a really brilliant Talmud teacher. And if you know anything about Rabbi Molly, you know that, no?
What?
You like Talmud.
Talmud? Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
That's
she
true.
likes Talmud.
Sure.
So there's that as well. What would you add?
this.
Did I miss anything? So many things.
No, it's great.
Great, cool. Without any further ado, larger than life, on screen. She wants you to know she looks better in person. Devorah Weisberg.
Good evening. I'm sorry I can't be with you tonight, but I'm glad to be able to share my words with you. Two men in my husband's rabbinical school cohort started having children around the same time. The first one would call the second one to tell him that he and his wife were expecting a child. The second rabbi would congratulate the first and then tell him that he and his wife were also expecting a child. This went on until each couple had 5 children. Then, one day, the first rabbi called and announced to the second rabbi that he and his wife were expecting their 6th child. Rabbi number 2 replied, "You win." I can say with confidence that my husband's friends and their wives were not competing to see who could have the largest family. But their exchanges bring to mind a much less friendly competition in this week's Torah portion, Parshat Vayetze. Our Torah portion features a struggle between 2 sisters, Rachel and Leah, to win or retain their husband Jacob's love and attention by producing offspring. When we begin our Torah portion, Jacob is a single man with no children. When our Torah portion ends, Jacob has 2 wives, 2 auxiliary wives, or maidservants, and 12 children, 11 sons and 1 daughter. Stay tuned for next week's portion, which will add 1 more child to the family. It's fair to say that family dynamics in this week's Torah portion are not shocking to anyone who has read the book of Genesis. But most family struggles in Genesis revolve around rivalry between brothers, Cain and Abel, Ishmael and Isaac, Jacob and Esau, and finally, Joseph and his brothers. These struggles center around property, blessings, and parental or divine attention, with brothers competing in what they view as a winner-takes-all environment. Until we meet Rachel and Leah, Genesis has little to say about sisters. The only pair of sisters we know of before Genesis 29 are the daughters of Lot, who, with their father, survived the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. Whatever we may think about the sisters' incestuous plan to preserve humanity by seducing their father, we must acknowledge that they saw each other as allies, not antagonists. Rather than each trying to thwart her sister's interest, they worked together with a common purpose. Leah and Rachel, however, see each other as rivals. Like the brothers of Genesis, these 2 sisters are competing for what they regard as a scarce resource, Jacob's love. Leah, knowing that Jacob was deceived into marrying her, and that he most likely resents that marriage, sees her sons as her best or only chance of gaining her husband's affection. Rachel, despite knowing that Jacob loves her, believes that her life is meaningless if she can't have children. Reading this story in the context of the ancient Near East, we can appreciate why having children, especially male children, was important to these women. What is painful to read is the ways that each woman gives expression to her emotional pain. Consider the significance that Leah attributes to the names of her first 3 children. Reuben, God has seen my affliction. Simeon, it is because God heard that I was unloved. Levi, this time my husband will become attached to me. Rachel, seeing that she has no children while her sister now has 4, turns to Jacob and says, "Give me children or I shall die," provoking an angry response from her husband, who reminds her that he is not the one preventing her from conceiving. The antagonism between the 2 sisters becomes apparent in the only verbal exchange between them recorded in the Torah. After years of marriage and the birth of 8 children to Leah, her maid Zilpah, and Rachel's maid Bilhah, Reuben, Leah's oldest son, brings his mother some mandrakes that he found in a field. Believing that mandrakes promote fertility, Rachel says to her sister, "Please give me some of your son's mandrakes." Leah's response reveals the pain that she must have been feeling for years. She says to her sister Rachel, "Was it not enough that you took my husband? Now you would also take my son's mandrakes?" These words tell us that even though it was Rachel who was Jacob's first choice for a wife, Leah feels that her younger sister has betrayed her. Each has something the other lacks and desperately wants. Leah envies the love that Jacob feels for Rachel, while Rachel envies Leah's ever-growing number of children. Rabbinic commentary on the story of Jacob and his wives acknowledges the animosity between Rachel and Leah. How could it not? They pin the source of the rivalry squarely on the sisters' marriage to Jacob and the competitive edge it gives to their relationship. There's no assumption in this literature that Leah and Rachel's relationship was strained before Jacob's arrival on the scene. Although neither the Torah nor later rabbinic commentary on the Torah provide a backstory to the relationship of Rachel and Leah, it's reasonable for us to imagine that growing up, they had a reasonably friendly relationship. Perhaps, if they had not found themselves married to the same man, they would have enjoyed a lifetime friendship. In a surprising twist, early rabbinic midrash insists that despite the sisters' rivalry for Jacob's attention, Rachel and Leah maintained their compassion for and sensitivity to each other. The Talmud speaks of Leah's choice to name her daughter Dinah, a name that comes from the Hebrew word judgment. Leah, the Talmud tells us, knew through prophecy that Jacob was destined to have 12 sons. When she found herself pregnant for the 7th time, she prayed for a daughter, so that the last of Jacob's sons would be Rachel's, not hers. Dinah's name, the Talmud tells us, reflects a moment in which Leah judged both the situation and herself, conquering her need to have another son to allow Rachel the chance to be a mother of a second child. In another rabbinic story, Rachel reminds God that she, when Laban deceived Jacob by marrying him to Leah, not only kept silent, refusing to reveal the plot to Jacob, but even helped her sister trick Jacob into believing that he had married the right woman. Rachel says to God, "I overcame my jealousy out of compassion for my sister, who would have been humiliated had the deception been revealed." Rabbinic tradition, then, asks us to see Leah and Rachel not merely as jealous competitors, but as partners in God's work, supporting Jacob as he fulfills God's plan, and together building the future Jewish people. Both the Hebrew Bible and later sources offer readings that present Leah and Rachel as a team rather than rivals. When Jacob decides it's time to leave his father-in-law's home and return to the place he grew up, he shares his thoughts with his wives. Rachel and Leah answered together, agreeing that they have no future in their father's house and that Jacob should follow God's plan. Later in the book of Ruth, the bridal blessing bestowed on Boaz and Ruth reads, "May God make the woman coming into your house like Rachel and Leah, both of whom built up the house of Israel." And a midrash commenting on the first mention of Laban's 2 daughters in this Torah portion asserts that Leah and Rachel were like 2 sturdy beams whose impacts stretched from one end of the world to the other, with each sister making an equally important contribution to the Jewish future. How fitting that we should read and consider this Torah portion as Temple B'nai Torah installs not 1, but 2 rabbis. Rabbi Wiesel and Rabbi Klaas embody in their work as individuals and in their partnership as your rabbis the qualities that rabbinic tradition associates with Rachel and Leah. They are both compassionate individuals who care deeply about others. They are both generous with their time in your congregation and on the various boards and external activities that they pursue. And they share a commitment to the future not only of Temple B'nai Torah, but that of the entire Jewish people. I had the chance to watch both of these rabbis grow from newly admitted rabbinical students to ordination. I remember Rabbi Wiesel as someone who could be very quiet and thoughtful while also being quite humorous. She lit up when she led services. When I was called to give a reference for her during her first job search, I was asked if she sparkled as a rabbi. I replied that she did indeed sparkle, not in a loud, showy way, but from deep within, in a way that I believed would draw others to her. Rabbi Klaas arrived at Hebrew Union College a year later. She could fill up a room with her high energy and her cheerful demeanor. When a problem arose in her student pulpit, she dealt with it strategically, seeking support and working to resolve a particularly sensitive situation. Rabbi Klaas comes to her work with you with both congregational experience and, most recently, her work providing support to her rabbinic colleagues at the Central Conference for American Rabbis, work that speaks to her commitment to pastoral care. It It's a great privilege to celebrate a former student's installation. It's a special privilege to be here, albeit on Zoom, celebrating two amazing rabbis. Temple B'nai Torah now has two rabbis whose individual gifts are matched by their commitment to teamwork. When they asked me to be part of this Shabbat, I told them that I had never before seen a joint installation. They told me that the decision to share this special moment was not based only on practicality. They said that sharing their installation was an outward symbol of their commitment to working together to best serve the needs of this congregation. Having known them each for over a decade, I can promise you they meant what they said. Our Torah portion begins with Jacob leaving the place of his birth to journey into the unknown, and ends as he starts the journey back home. Both Rabbi Wiesel and Rabbi Klaas, like Jacob, left their home, this community, and this congregation, and went on a journey. That journey took them to rabbinical school and to the early years of their rabbinate, where they served communities in Northern California and North Carolina, respectively. Now, like Jacob, they've come home to this community and this congregation. Just as Jacob returned home with experiences that shaped him into the adult he would be, a patriarch, your rabbis come to their work at B'nai Torah, shaped by the experiences they had on their journeys. As they're formally welcomed and blessed this evening, I pray that both the congregation and its rabbis flourish for years to come. Shabbat Shalom.
If I had any musical talent, this is when I go do 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 do. That's my do. They're having a very serious conversation.
She's good, right? I mean, you're good too. but
No,
that's-
she's great.
Very nice. Yeah. Go away. Yeah. Goodbye,
I love her
Rebecca.
face. I just feel like,
Feel
you know.
better. She's not really
Bye. Thanks for being here. Life is good.
there.
All right. Yes. As you thought was maybe happening next. In fact. Come on up. There's two pieces to an installation moment. One are words by a wonderful, learned person, and the other is a blessing. That part's what's about to happen. We don't know what's about to happen.
That's why we're
So that's why we have no idea what to do.
So welcome.
All right.
Here I come. Okay.
Turn it off.
If you
the
were
mic.
wondering why my sparkles were quiet.
It was me. Was that my go?
Yeah.
Was that my sign?
Yeah.
Okay. So I know many of you are probably thinking, hey, that rabbi looks really familiar. Was she one of the guest judges on TBT's Dancing with the Stars circa 2012? Why, yes.
She was.
I was. Now that we got that out of the way, you can stop wondering about it. And now we can really focus on the moment we are here for, which even though I am a silly person, okay? My synagogue has to deal with this every week. Can you imagine? But I will say, and I'm sorry, I'm like the thing we already talked about not doing. I just want to say how special it is as someone who loves these people to watch them rabbi in a place where I know, because I know them, that they are rabbiing as authentically as they could be, being their whole selves and bringing their whole selves to this place is one of the most beautiful things. And that doesn't happen without a community that receives the rabbi as exactly who they are. So I just need you to know that you are a gift to them, to allow them to be the human beings that you know are wonderful and incredible human beings, to be able to rabbi the way they can here. And it's been really fun to watch you. Okay. And now we'll continue. So we, your Rab friends, are honored to stand with you in the sacred community at Temple B'nai Torah and officially install you as their rabbis, which probably feels a little odd knowing that you grew up here and have been here. And it's just, I don't know, it's a moment. It's a moment. But as your classmates, your chavrutot, your colleagues, your dear friends, we know how lucky TBT is to be guided by both of you. You have stood by each of us in so many different moments of our lives. In class, as roommates, as co-educators, as study and sermon partners, not to mention all of the moments in between. And of course, as sounding boards through it all, through each of our lives' journeys.
Now we get the privilege of standing here with you as your community affirms their connection to you as their rabbis, their teachers and guides. Just as we have learned so much from and with you, we know that TBT will continue to learn from and with you for many years to come.
And what makes this moment even more special is the connection that each of you has to this community that predates all of us here. And as mentioned, since both of you grew up in this congregation, we wanted to include 4 other very important people in this moment. So I'd now like to invite Molly's parents, Robin and Daryl, and Dusty's parents, Karen and Tim, to join us on the bima for this moment.
We are going to invite the congregation to rise as well, because we're going to open that ark and bring out the Torahs.
I know. It's the class Torah. Okay, fine. Okay.
Moses received the Torah at Mount Sinai. Moses transmitted it to Joshua. Joshua, in turn, passed it to the elders, and the elders, to the prophets. The prophets transmitted the Torah to the sages of the Great Assembly. The sages taught 3 things: be deliberate in judgment, raise up many disciples, and protect the integrity of the Torah. Molly and Dusty, this chain of tradition links Sinai to this very moment and continues now, as it has in every generation, as we place these scrolls, as your parents place these scrolls in your arms.
And we know, just like at Bet Mitzvah services where the Torah gets passed from generation to generation, the fact that you two have returned here in the place that your parents gave you Torah is one of the most powerful symbols we could think of to honor this moment, because you actually gave this congregation these rabbis through what you did. So so you all can say good job to the parents too, because that's what Molly just said. Good job, everybody. But we pray, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, bestow your blessings on these 2 rabbis, Molly and Dusty, and on their congregation. Instill in them wisdom and righteousness, steadfastness and devotion as they assume their rabbinic positions at Temple B'nai Torah. Grant them each a wise heart, candor and courage, May they respond to every challenge with dignity and integrity, and plant within them a full measure of your compassion, that they might embody the words of our tradition.
Be a disciple of Aaron, loving peace and pursuing peace, loving all people and drawing them closer to Torah. Be a disciple of Devorah, exercising authority collaboratively, acting compassionately,
and finding courage in even the most challenging moments. And perhaps most uniquely, be yourselves. Bring your authenticity and wisdom, your kindness and patience, your creativity and energy as you lead this sacred congregation. And for the appreciation of that, all of us together can say, Amen.
So I think we can return the Torahs to the Ark now. You can decide who you want to make do it. I mean, you're the rabbi now. I mean, like, really. Should I put it in the stand, or are you going to hold? Yeah.
With the guitar.
Hey, with the guitar. Let us be your witness. You may be seated. Yeah, you can sit, whatever.
You may be seated.
Yeah.
And Molly, is this something they've sung before?
Oh, beautiful. So this will be a melody new to you all. But the reason we wanted to end with a blessing, you may or may not know this, Molly taught me a lot of guitar in our year in Israel. So I did play a little bit before that, but whenever I play guitar and lead services playing guitar, I think of Molly from our apartment in Jerusalem. And I wanted to share this blessing. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will, may it be so. And the way it works, it's mostly in English, besides Ken Yehi Ratzon, okay? You'll catch on really fast, but it's may I be safe. May I be safe. May I be free. May I be free. May I find space. May I find space. Space to just be. And then we'll go into Ken Yehi Ratzon, and then may I find my way back home, which you can imagine why we might have chosen this melody for this moment. We're really good rabbis. So I hope you'll give it a shot, try to join with me, but I'm gonna ask you, we're actually gonna sing May You Be Safe, because the first people we are gonna bless right now, I want you to send those blessings. When you say may you be safe, I want you to send them to your rabbis. I want you to pray this blessing for them. May you, Molly and Dusty, don't say, it's going to ruin the song if you say Molly and Dusty, but we'll all know you means Molly and Dusty. I really know how to make a moment and break it in the same breath. May you be safe. May you be I promise. So you're really going to get it. But this one we will say I. And as you sing this blessing, I want you to think of a time. And I know Dusty hasn't been a rabbi here for as long as Molly, but some of you have known them for a very long time. And some of you all have been here tonight with them. Think of a time where they made you feel safe, where they made you feel at home. And if it wasn't them, let it be the community that they are building here that made you feel that. So may I be safe. May I be free. we're going to say we. It's for all of us together in this moment, hoping that this is a moment of safety, of freedom, of coming home, of being authentically ourselves together, no matter what. May we be safe. May we be free. May we find space to just be. Can you hear our song? Can you hear our song? May we find our way back home. Can you hear our song? Can you hear our song? May we find our way back home. Can we have jazz fingers for being glad they found their way back home? Mazel tov.
This is a very self-indulgent thing to do, and I promise we are going to move this along. Oftentimes, you don't just like on the spot ask for blessings.
It's true.
And we have received a lot of blessings.
So many
I feel
blessings.
like I want one more.
One more. And someone we didn't think was going to be able to make it here tonight is here, and we thought he may in particular be willing to offer us a blessing. So Cantor Circumpool.
No pressure.
Would you join us on the bima?
Look, we started by honoring one of our other teachers, Rabbi Arlene, Cantor
true.
David. It's been a very important teacher for both of us throughout our lives. So
So and I'm going to combine it with a teaching from Rabbi Arlene.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna, many years ago, I'm saying 25 or so, maybe 30 years ago, we were just evolving to getting women and women rabbis or cantors involved. It was a different era, many decades ago. And I asked Rabbi Arlene, this was before they had it, how do you do it if it's for women? What's the conjugation? Remember? And I said, I need to make sure I'm doing, because nobody ever did blessings for women. And what a joy. I have to tell you, for everybody, in case you don't know, it does not get any better as a teacher to stand here with two of my favorite students as rabbis. It doesn't get any better, okay? And there's others out there too. But I'm just saying, it's so beautiful. So on behalf of your whole congregation, we'll do a little blessing, and we'll say something. I have so many wonderful memories. I've known you since you were little children, okay? I've known your siblings and your parents and all the relatives, and what a joy it is to be here with everybody. I apologize for not being here earlier. I had to do a Ma'ariv service somewhere else. But
I didn't think you were going to be here. It's amazing.
I know. So I'm going to do a little blessing for you, and I want everybody to, in your own hearts, give the blessing for these wonderful rabbis that are serving you and going to serve you for many years ahead, with all their hearts and soul, because so many have given you so many little sparks. So many people here have given you all these sparks, not to mention your wonderful parents. You know, we all should be congratulating your families as well. We're thankful that you gave us this gift. What a gift. Will you all please rise? Ishmerchen, Yair Adonai panav elechen, Vichunchen, Yisa Adonai Yasem lachem shalom.
You may be seated. We are going to turn now to page 253 for a prayer we include in every service that we pray in community together, a prayer for healing. We'll offer the names aloud of those we are thinking of in our community. And if there's anyone in addition that you are thinking of, anyone who could use an extra measure of thoughtfulness, of healing, of wholeness, we'll invite you to think of them and to share their names when the moment comes, and then we'll offer the blessing together.
On this Shabbat, we are praying for healing of Amy Thornton, Jacqueline Tara Smith, Deborah Rose, Eileen Kreisman, Ronnie Haber, Ellen Gottlieb, Vanessa Bianco, Paul McCready, Glenn Letts, Carl Wilhite, Ginny Gaston, Cindy Balin, Patty Newby, Joe Giordano, Brian Ward, Joshua Kornblue, Joe Dover, Christina Marie Lindsay, Janine Morris, Ron Louie, Sally Wildison, Marnie Good, Sylvia Angel, Marion Laird, Sheldon Robert, William Stangler, Lisa Bush, Kalai Sotalealoha, Patricia Barber, Adrian Helander, Kyle Asadorian, Elizabeth Knopf, Nancy Gersman, Paul Norris, Barbara Esselstein, and Stephen Thrasher. If there are other names you'd like to add, please share with us now. If you're on the live stream, please share in the chat. Join together the middle of, not the middle of page 253.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the middle of page 253. Page 200.
Continue on page 283, the words of Aleinu L'Shabeach, and invite everyone to rise.
Aleinu L'Shabeach Adon HaKol, Lateit Gedula Liotzer Bereshit,
שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות,
ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. At the top of page 284. Be seated. Our thoughts turn now to loved ones that we've lost at this time in years past, or in the recent month, in the last 30 days. And we as a congregation are in the Shloshim period, mourning the recent loss of our congregant Roberta Pease, mother to Jan, Julie, and Amy, and grandmother to Hannah and Marina. And we also on this Shabbat mark the yahrzeits of Jay Cutting, Rabbi David Ellenson, Cyril B. Farber, Sylvia Adler, Sally Lewis Asher, Lawrence Dixon, Maria Miller Gublow, Gertrude Alm, N.B. Docter, Nancy Tynan, Esther Bloom, Sarah G. Mosler, Jennifer Rabin Weed, Lucille Almalay Spring, Jeffrey Afalter, Max Davis, Roman L. Wheel, Stacy Halela, Leon Halela, and Esther Sura Weiselman. At dinner tonight, we were talking about when we got maybe told that we were being too loud in services. You were not. You were at the other side of the table. You weren't part of this. But we were talking about times when we were maybe got in trouble for being too loud. It rarely happened for me, but it was always at Kaddish. That was the part where my mom and my aunt were like, okay, stop. Now is the time to stop. So in that spirit, I'm going to just invite us not to tell them to stop, but let's just close the door maybe.
Unless you were doing noise the whole entire time, but then Kaddish is quiet, so that's when you heard it. No?
No, it's not. No. Just to give us a little bit of space for that. We love our kids. We never want to do that. We don't. Okay. If you are remembering a loved one and either we haven't shared the name yet or if mispronounced the name, if you're on the live stream, please share in the chat. If you're here with us in the sanctuary, I invite you to share the name of the person you're remembering. If you're able, we're going to rise together as one community in support of our mourners and turn to page 294 for the words of Mourners Kaddish. Yikadal v'yikadash shmei Rabbah, ve'alma tivrach yotei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei dekudusha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata b'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Damiram be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom Yiramav, Huya aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. You may be seated. Has anyone seen Wicked? I asked if anyone has seen Wicked. I haven't seen it yet, but I do know that it is almost 3 hours long, and it's only part one. I know. Exactly. We are coming to the end of our service, and it was worth it. And you're welcome, because it is not just part one. It's parts 1 and 2 together. We're going to end with a TBT favorite. Ooh. Yes, part 2 is tomorrow. You're right.
True.
Part 2 is tomorrow. There is more.
It's a new part 1.
It's just, yeah.
Can I find it?
You can.
Let's see if I can find it.
It's on page 341.
Thank you. Page 341. Woo. We're going to be on page 341. TBT favorite. Yeah. What? Oh, yes. Yeah.
Mom, come up.
Yes. One more time.
Cantor David?
One more time.
Would you like
Promise.
to join us?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What a nice person. Doesn't even know what he's being called up for. Yes.
You're like, thank you.
Land that I will show you. Lech lecha to a place you do not know. Lechila on a journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechila, חיים, לשמחת חיים, לשמחת חיים, לכי לך.
One more time. לכי לך.
Shall be a blessing, and you shall be a blessing, and you shall be a blessing.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Thank you all for being here. Motzi.
Motzi. Oh no, almost forgot the most
Somebody
important
open
part.
the door
Someone-
quick
yeah.
so the kids know they can come back in. Tell Ethan
What they've been waiting for. All they've been waiting for.
Come quick, come
well.
quick.
Always good.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. You can have some, and you can
Shabbat
take it
shalom.
around and see if other people want some too. Sound good? If you want challah, you've got to get it from Harmony.